Thanks for joining us today on HXGN TV. I'm your host, Neville Judd, and today we're discussing ways technology can help future generations. Joining me is Mirko Stock, who is COO of Hexagon Ventures. Mirko, thanks for joining us.
Neville, thanks for having me here.
So Mirko, this is really a profound topic we're talking about. You only have to turn on the television to see some of the issues facing the world, environmental, climate change, population growth, what have you. Based on your experience as COO, how do you see technology helping the next generation?
Well, that is a great question, Neville, but I think you actually forgot one challenge there. I think technology itself, some of the technologies that we're going to talk about here, like cloud visualization, artificial intelligence, etc., they will create some challenges in themselves.
Right.
But going back to your question, these technologies will play a key role to address these issues. So I believe that there's no way that you could solve some of the challenges that you mentioned before without these technologies actually being brought to action. And these technologies that are kind of like getting ready for prime time right now, they will fundamentally change the way certain industries are working. They will change the way that this planet will ensure safety for populations. They will change the way things are manufactured. So yes, I see it's a key enabler, and I think we will see the positive impact of those technologies, in the very, very near future.
So let's delve a little bit into the actual technologies. I'm seeing a lot about software, scanners, sensors. Tell me a little bit about how you expect to see those implemented.
Okay, so let's maybe start with scanners and trackers, cameras. First of all. So what we use these devices today to create incredibly accurate copies of the 3D world.
Right.
Right, so kind of this, you can actually create a digital copy of cities, etc., with an accuracy that is unbelievable. We also have the technology today to keep these copies, or let's say three-dimensional representations, to keep them up to date.
Right.
So basically, almost like you can call that 4D if you want. In parallel, there is this very, very powerful development where the number of sensors is kind of just growing on an exponential scale. And when I talk about sensors, you can think of your smartphone, being a sensor, watches being a sensors, camera, there are stationary sensors, mobile sensors. In a couple of years from now, it will probably be even impossible to buy a T-shirt that is not connected. I'm not sure whether we look forward to that or not, but I think that is the direction that kind of things are taken.
Right.
What this will do is it will give us an enormous amount of real-time information stream and information that actually can then be fused or integrated or overlay with these three-dimensional copies or four-dimensional copies of the real world. Right. So we will end up in a situation where we will have very, very accurate representations of the reality that are integrated with all relevant information, real-time or not real-time, that might add value for specific situations in a specific context. And then on top of that, people will start building, very, very specific applications for very specific purposes. So this is then what kind of will help to kind of solve some of the challenges before. So combine these five-dimensional representations, combine that with artificial intelligence, combine that with visualization techniques like virtual reality, or probably more important, even augmented reality. Right. It will change the way policemen will secure our cities. It will change the way construction companies will construct buildings. It will change the way cars or planes will be manufactured. And it will also help us to see things, dangerous things, like risks, things that you mentioned before, maybe before they actually happen. Right. And will buy us additional time to actively, be proactive and react.
So to the layperson, a lot of this sounds very futuristic, but are these solutions close to market?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's happening right now. I mean, we have, for instance, in China, we have cities that have complete digital copies of these cities right now. We have manufacturing companies right now that are actually looking at smart auto-correcting factories. So basically factories that understand when a product comes out and it maybe is not anymore like in the specified tolerances, etc., it then will take the necessary actions to kind of automatically correct the root cause for these quality issues. I mean, we just here at this conference, we launched our smart build, our smart build solution. You know, sitting in the cloud, you know, all with a 3D representation as basically as kind of like the core piece or the centerpiece. Continuous feedback loop, kind of, so you inform the construction workers, you know, with very detailed instructions what they should do. There's a real-time feedback loop from the construction site back to the home office. So these things are happening right now. It's just that many people maybe have not recognized that.
And a lot of it goes on behind the scenes, so it, it must be very exciting to be overseeing all of this when there is so much demand for that kind of technology.
Yeah, and I think we are just at the very early beginning of that curve. I think the next years will be very, very, very exciting. They will be very challenging also, you know, because many of the business models, many of the execution or operation models that we have been used to so far will just, I mean, they will just be disrupted and they will change completely. And I mean, we will do our best that change is really for the better.
Mirko, sounds like very exciting times ahead. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Neville.
We'd like to thank our guest, Mirko Stock, for joining us today. If you'd like to learn more about mega technologies like artificial intelligence, information management platforms, visit hexagon.com. And to watch more episodes of HXGN TV, visit hxgntv.com. Thanks very much for watching.